Welcome to Lead Your Life, the podcast for people who are seeking harmony in business and in life. My name is Debbie Heiser, and I'm an inner mastery and business mindset coach and the chief igniter here at the Lit Up Life. I feel an urgency to help people let go of past messaging so that they can make a lot of money doing what they love without sacrificing what they value most. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Straight from the corners of my mind is where I find my sanity. It's a place, another land, another time.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. I'm so happy that you've joined us today, as I'm really going to dive into a powerful practice. And it's so powerful that I actually talk about it every year, and I just love doing this episode yearly. And so it's really about this powerful practice that helps shape your mindset, and it guides you and it guides your actions for the year ahead. And that's choosing a word for the new year. So, with this new year on the horizon, and I know this is coming out the first part of December, I wanted to give you some time to think about what is this word that you want. So, with this new year on the horizon, a lot of people, myself included, are reflecting on our goals, reflecting on the aspirations. I'm reflecting back on how the year has gone. And I got out of the practice a long time ago of making New Year's resolutions, because I used to be kind of in this, my then husband would say to me, are you Wonder Woman? Because I would make a front and back single spaced list of resolutions, all these things that I wanted to do in a year. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I would like to invite you into actually, maybe instead of doing a long list of resolutions, picking a word. And that word really sets the tone for 2025 for you. So, really, in today's episode, we're going to look at a few things. We're going to explore why choosing a word is important, how you can find the right word for you, and how this practice can really help you manifest your intentions and your goals and your actions for the new year. So, let's get started. So, why is choosing a word for the new year really important? Well, I think choosing a word for the new year is more than just a simple decision. It's really a tool, because what we focus on gets bigger. So, it's a tool to allow us to focus and have clarity over the year. So, for me, it's helped me because instead of feeling overwhelmed by this long list of resolutions, when I have a single word, it serves somewhat as a compass that aligns with my values and intentions. So here's a clue, right? Make sure your word aligns with your values and intentions. And again, part of why I'm doing this in early December is for you to resonate on this word and be okay if it changes between now and January. Be okay even if it changes a little bit in January. So, when we think about having a single word serve as this compass and aligning with who we are and who we want to be, why is this really important? Well, I have this conversation a lot with my good friend Erica, who is a communication and kind of word expert. And a word can really encapsulate a theme, and it helps us keep on track mentally. It helps us keep on track emotionally, even spiritually, and sometimes even physically, right? Because we have these different bodies, these energetic bodies. So, it gives us something to kind of ground ourselves to when life gets hectic, it gets uncertain. And really, unlike traditional resolutions, which can often feel really rigid or overwhelming, and sometimes even discouraging because we're not doing all the things, a word can really evolve with us throughout this year. So it's almost like not only a compass, but this guiding light that allows for adaptability and flexibility, yet it really holds me accountable and helps me focus on where I want to grow. I've had harmony for a couple of years, and harmony this last year for me was really getting my feminine and masculine energetics to come together and be more balanced and in harmony. And I feel like I've actually done that this year. And so the things that I've been working on for personal growth, the things that I've been doing have been revolving around that and having kind of that, for those of you that have followed me for a while, my old logo used to be an infinity loop, like having that loop back and forth and be adaptable and flexible. And it really kind of also, I don't necessarily love the word accountable, but holds me to a standard so that as I'm looking at things, is this helping to feed that harmony, right? So when you have that one word, for me, then it helped me simplify. So if you find yourself at a crossroads, whether it's in a tough decision, whether that be at work or in a personal decision, you can use that word to then reflect, look at your evidence bank, right, as you've gone through some of the years so that it guides those actions. And it really becomes a lens on how you choose certain things. So then that leads right into then how do you choose your word for the year? And again, don't feel like you're stuck with this word because that kind of puts us in the victim game, right, as a martyr, but really choosing a word. And you might find throughout the year that you feel like you've been embodying this. And so then it's time to choose a different word. There's no right or wrong to this. So, how do people though choose their words? And I'm going to share with you a few things I do to help myself choose this word. So, again, there's no right way, and these are just some methods that I've used in the past. Some I've used multiple of these at one time, others I've just used one. So, a big one for me is that reflection, right? Like reflecting on the past year, what went well. You hear me talk a lot about what are the desires that we have, what is it that we want. Is there an area in my life that maybe I'm wanting more of something, and I've been talking to some of the women in my mastermind about if you say you want more joy in your life, well, you have joy. You just haven't been noticing it. So they've been actually reflecting back where they see those certain things, whatever it is for them every day. So kind of what went well, what do we feel like maybe we want a little bit more? What challenges did I face this last year? What lessons did I learn? Some really big lessons that shifted the way I think about myself, the way I think about the world, will also then help guide me in choosing that word. It also helps me kind of see what's important to me. Even so far as I'm thinking about 2025, there's some things about relationship in that. And I'm still kind of meditating on that word, which leads right into the second thing. I meditate. I'm not a big journaler. Some people journal, but meditation, and I actually would like to start journaling a little bit. So not to create a New Year's resolution or anything, but like as I'm choosing a word, I meditate on it. I try to quiet my mind as I've reflected, as I feel things come up. Like, again, what do I want more of? What maybe do I want to let go that hasn't been serving me? Maybe part of a word is letting go. It doesn't have to be just one word. And this helps bring some clarity when I'm meditating. The other thing is, I do have goals. I have what I call juicy goals. Physically, a juicy goal for me is I want to get the lifetime pass at Schweitzer, and which you have to be a certain age. Some people argue that it was 80. I think it's 90. I don't know what age it is, but it's up there, right? And I don't want to just be someone that goes and skis or has the pass and goes up and has coffee. I want to ski. And so for me, that goal setting is about that longer term goal because then the actions that I do, like maybe dissolving some pounds on my body to help my joints and my knees, the activity that I do that allows me to be able to have longevity and movement, right? Like, so as I look at those more juicy goals per se, I can look at some of those goals, and that might help me get to a point of understanding what a theme would be for the year. Also, looking at vision boards. I'm going to be holding a vision board night in January. I believe it's the 14th of January. You can go out to my website and find it. But that's part of goal setting, but having a vision. And that vision, sometimes I end up coming up with the word that I want to use, and it ends up on my vision board. So, looking at what it is that you want more of, and it might be like more peace or more courage or more joy. And there might be a common thread as you look at your goals. Another piece is kind of that intuition, just trusting that when a word comes to me, that I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to make it difficult. I can hit my easy button and say it can be just that easy. So allowing my subconscious mind to bring forth what I truly need from that. And then the last one is really about seeking some inspiration through books, through speaking with people, listening to podcasts. Those types of things allow me to kind of resonate on where I want to have some growth edges, where I want to grow. And I write down several possibilities, not just because I tend to forget the words, but I really want something that resonates with me. So, whatever method you choose, pick a word that really resonates with you. And again, some people would say keep that word for a whole year. I'm of mind that, a word might feel good for you for a little while. And again, you've resonated with it, it's become part of who you are, and you decide to choose another one. I've not done that, but other people have. So when we come back from this quick break, we're going to talk a little bit about how when we choose a word, it helps us manifest it for the year to come. So we'll be right back. Let's face it, sometimes as an entrepreneur and a business leader, we need some guidance, support, and community. So we here at The Lit Up Life have 3 ways that you can work with us in order to achieve that. As a private client, we work together to quantum leap your business by discovering strategies to help you move past what's holding you back and allow you to identify what you want your life to look like. The result? Your business becomes the conduit to the lifestyle, success, and impact that you intend. Now, I'm a huge believer in the power of collaboration. So in our community masterminds, you can join in with other high vibrational business owners who want to level up, increase impact, and financial gain, all with a tribe of other women to support and encourage you on your journey. Currently, we're accepting application for this women's mastermind group, which is a year-long program for women in business who are ready for that next level of success. We create deep personal awareness in a safe and supportive space where you can experience growth with others who are on that same path. Through weekly sessions with our program coaches, teachings that go beyond the buzzwords, and immersive retreats in places like Mexico, the Dominican Republic, or Belize, we work together to create long-term abundance and lasting impact in your life and business. The last and final way to get involved with us is our group coaching programs. They provide the opportunity for teaching, masterminding, and feeling like you aren't alone on this ride. Come join us. Okay, and we are back. So just to recap, when we think about this, why do we choose a word for the new year and why is it important? It gives us clarity, it gives us some focus, it becomes somewhat of a compass for us. And then how do people choose the word? And, that comes from with reflection, some meditation, sometimes as I'm goal setting, trusting my intuition and what's really coming to me, and then seeking some inspiration and as I learn, right? And listen to other people on podcasts or read books. So now we're going to really get into why, when we choose a word, how does that help us manifest then what we want? So there is a powerful psychological principle here, right? And there's some neuroscience that plays into this. And you heard me say it earlier, what we focus on gets bigger, it amplifies. Right. So when we choose a word that embodies where we want to head, we are training our brains. We're creating neuroplasticity in our brain and in our mind to look for opportunities and solutions that align with that word, right? One of the things I used to do with my son and my husband was we would get home and have dinner, and I would be like, what's the best thing that happened to you today? And again, that's also why I ask clients to come up with wins or have gratitude, because it is proven that it will change the outcome of your brain. It will change that neuroplasticity to then have you be looking for what's the great thing that happened today, right? So another example of that is if your word is balance, right? And I don't necessarily love the word balance, but harmony, or if it's balance, you will start to naturally start seeing and seeking ways to create more balance in your life. It's kind of like that. I forget what the effect is that they call it, but like I never saw Subarus until I bought a Subaru. So it's working off of that same principle. So it comes into play with work, it comes into play with your personal time, your physical and mental health, even how you manage stress, right? So you'll begin noticing situations in this example of where we're trying to create balance, of where balance is needed, and then you take action accordingly. So your word allows you to start even uh, modifying behavior. Now, there's also an element of intention setting that's pretty key here. The act of choosing the word is an act of a commitment to yourself. So it does signal to that subconscious part of your brain and to the universe that you're ready to take aligned, inspired action. So when you couple this intention with action, that's when the real manifestation begins. Many of you have heard me talk about inspired action. The inspired comes from the word, right? It comes from the intention that you have. So it's almost like planting a seed in fertile ground for the new year in your brain. So you nurture it by staying focused, you take small steps towards your goal, and you remain mindful of how your actions align with that chosen word. And over time, you're going to start seeing the fruits of that happen. So then, we've talked a little bit about how that helps with your manifestation, but what are some of the benefits? Why choose a word? So I'm going to break it down for you really into 5 things. One, it helps you with focus and simplicity. We talked about that a little bit earlier. This word will help you cut through the noise of what happens in your day to day. It helps you stay focused on what truly matters to you. It also helps simplify some of the goals. Is it getting you further away or closer to what you want? It helps makes decision. It's that compass, right? So then there's also this idea of consistency. When you choose a word, it's with you. It's in your subconscious, it's in your conscious. And unlike a resolution that you might forget, and I put my word up, I'm looking over here because I have a my vision board from last year, and I have some of the the word in numerous different places on my vision board. So it's in front of me, right? I don't forget it after a while. So you can write it down, display it, do whatever you need to, put it on your screensaver, put it on your phone to keep it top of mind. And then it becomes a part of who you are. Now, also, I think a word gives me some flexibility because when I have resolutions, they're very task orientated, very doing orientated. Where when I choose a word, it allows for the unpredictability of life. It gives me room to adapt and still stay on track with my intentions for the year. The fourth thing really is it empowers me. And this kind of goes right into the flexibility because the beauty of choosing a word is that it also puts power into my hands because it helps me. I get to decide what I want to cultivate in my life. It's empowering to know that the single word can be a guide. It can help me manifest in ways that I may not have expected. And so you'll find that this empowerment then leads into personal growth, right? So as the year progresses, you're going to see growth in yourself that you didn't even realize would happen because you're focused on being in alignment with this theme, this word that you have for your year. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I really encourage you to take some time to reflect. Reflect on the past year. What's happened? What did you do? Who were you being? And as you reflect, also take some time to look forward and say, what do I want out of this upcoming year? Then just simply ask yourself some questions. Ask, what word feels right for me? What intention do I want to set this next year? And a really key piece, and ask me how I know, is remember that it's not about perfection, but it's really more about progress. It's about alignment. It's about clarity. And the single word can really spark and ignite your growth in the coming year and allow you to lead a lit up year. So I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode about the power of choosing a word. And I would just ask too, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from choosing their word for the new year. Here's to a year filled with purpose and intention. And I will have some more podcasts this month, but really reflect on that word and what you want that next year to look like. And I'd love to hear from you in social about what word you decided to choose. And with that, folks, it's a wrap. We'll see you next week.
Alright.
That's a wrap for this conversation. I'm so glad you've joined us. Remember to subscribe to the podcast so you can catch all of our future episodes, and visit us at thelituplife.com for details on how you can become part of the Lit Up Life community. A quick shout out to my friend Jackie Wilson and her friends, the creators of our amazing theme music. Thanks so much for allowing us to share this perfect song with our listeners. Looking forward to having you listen in to our next episode.